Hey guys, I know I'm pretty late coming to talk about this, but on the 27th, they put out this post about incoming balance changes round one. And you could say better late than never, but I think it's really late for them to consider making changes to what they are doing. Like items that have been in the game for such a long period of time, literal months, and then just completely changing them. But let's first get through, all the suggested changes that they might end up doing, and then kind of talk about it. So first off the bat, they kind of just have some edits, but we'll just kind of, go through and then maybe go back up there. So they want to nerf the Boomerang, taking away 50 damage from it. That's okay, I guess. And they're buffing Last Breath. That's fine, because I feel like this bow should have been good, and they're also, buffing its ability. So this is definitely pretty nice now. And they're giving Mosquito also a really big buff. So I think that's pretty cool. Next, run to the Necron handle, weapons, and they're buffing Valkyrie, they're buffing Astrea, okay, and they're buffing Cilia, but they're nerfing Hyperion, and they're saying that the 2 damage per level is bugged, and it should only be gaining 1, and they plan on nerfing the Wither impact as well. Okay. So they plan on buffing Midas Staff a little bit, increase its max scaling, and additive. So okay, they're just hard nerfing Mage this patch. Okay. Okay, they're upgrading these items. That's cool. That's actually really nice, especially for Frozen Blaze and Reaper. Also, that Wither Luck, very nice change. That should have been legendary to begin with. And they're capping Torrential Helm. So, all right, that's kind of weird. And stuff about Torrential Boss, I don't really care, garbage content. But it looks like they're buffing some of the old pets. So alright, so they're giving Tiger a huge buff. Wait, they're nerfing it. What? So they give it 15 ferocity and take away 50% bonus. That doesn't make sense. So they're nerfing a pet no one already uses. It was in an overpowered position. I mean, considering the layer changes they've made, this change makes no sense. And they end up buffing Lion, which I think is cool. Lion is always kind of nice, but was very disappointing. And then boss changes, which this is pretty considerable since, they have a soft damage cap. And they're changing the mechanic to work on bosses. So essentially how it works now is if you deal more than 1% of their health, you don't deal any more damage. So let's say the Ender Dragon has 8 mil life, right? 1% hit will be like what, 80k damage? So you're telling me that anyone with like, any Endernon can now compete with full max enchant level 7 Necron. That makes no sense. This is a stupid change. And all they're doing is just catering to no one. Because why are they taking away the reason for people to increase their gear? It makes no sense. You're literally punishing people for, playing the game. And it was like, all right, let's just make this baby mode game where there's no reason to grind for anything because you cannot exceed doing the bosses 1% of the life. And I mean, yes, this kind of makes sense. But we're not fighting bosses with hundreds of millions of health, right? We're fighting bosses with sub 10 million health. So maybe this change in the future might be good, because I mean, right now, if they had like any kind of new boss, most people are going to be hitting multiple mils per hit, right? And that probably does, be less than 1% of the boss's health. But we literally have baby mode bosses already, and for literally just adding this kind of change in, literally makes no sense. Since now, essentially, dragon fights are going to take forever, and it's just going to be wasting time. And it just doesn't feel awesome spending your time on getting equipment and just for you're not going to see the damage increase on the bosses. And it's a pretty change when it comes to public fights where newer players and veteran players are fighting together. We believe boss fights will be more exciting when the damage of everyone is more reasonable. Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the big issue. They want the damage to be more reasonable, but they are constantly releasing new items like the Warden's Helmet. Like I can't even think of the name right now, but the one from the Mythical Ritual that gives you the, bonus damage, 25% bonus damage, but uses coins. Like, they had stuff like that, and they want the game and people to do reasonable damage, right? They want someone that is combat 20, foraging 20 to compete with someone that's combat 60, foraging 60. That makes no sense at all. They're pretty much saying this is like a big middle finger to the people that, put all their time into playing the game, right? And getting the best, just to deal as much as an Endernon can do. 1,000-hour player does as much as a 10-hour player. That's pretty funny. And this change should still allow for skill expression. There's like no skill expression. Like, wow. You can maybe like, jump on him and melee it, but that's about it. And it's being more fun globally. I feel like if they want it to be more fun, just release new bosses that have more health and take damage differently instead of just being like, all right, change what we already have. And they're also adding changes to Catacombs where now you need levels to do this. Again, Floor 7's been here, since November? This is way too late to be making this change. Just scrap this. Like, what's the point? What's the point of this? Unless we get Master Mode in like the next month, this is kind of pointless. Because like, also on top of that, they're making changes to gear requirements, whatever, bunch of like all the dragon stuff lowered and stuff like that, which I guess is good for early on players, but at the same time, Necron gear really easy to get, so, and also the most tanky. And general changes: lifesteal now heal 0.5 max health per hit per level. So it's like what, 2.5%. So lifesteal getting a big nerf, I guess. I'm not sure if that's a big nerf or not. I assume this is a nerf. I don't know. And Siphon. So we're just getting like super capped lifesteal, even though lifesteal is one of the main mechanics of fighting any of the bosses in this game, because they don't know how to scale the mechanics, or my bad, scale the damage of the boss to the people's gear. So they hit way too hard to people in the max gear, and then the only way to survive them is out heal them. Okay. And yeah, they'll significantly nerf healing. And then they had some testing sessions in high dungeon floors to see the impact, and players are still clear. That's dungeons though. Think about mythical mobs. Think about like slayers, stuff like that. Of course, in dungeons, your healing is a lot better and different because one, there's a healer. You can have healer class. Your health passively, gets pool gets larger, which means your health regen gets higher and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't consider dungeons the place to be like, oh, lifesteal. Gotta check the lifesteal stuff. Mana above maximum will be removed. Wither sword will be disabled on strict armor sets. Wither cloak sword ability. No longer damage. Rip AFKing. Wither mincer skulls now only have 10 lifespan. Okay, rabbit hood jump boost and 7. You just really want to ruin cheese. Removing some AFK methods, fixing. So you're telling me we never got bonus powder from this? Spirit of mask ability will work. Fell sword, spirit pet. Okay. So that took me a while to get through this all. And if you actually, listened to me kind of just going over it all, you're awesome. But at the same time, my thoughts and opinions on this are pretty much they're nerfing Hyperion, so they're nerfing the funnest item in the game, that is the most expensive item in the game, that shouldn't be nerfed in general. They should just leave it as is and just move on. I think that's their big thing. Like, they need to just, yes, they can go back and tweak some things, but just move on to new things. There's no point in wasting time focusing on old gear when there's already so many different options, right? Like, there's so many different bows, so many different swords now. And, if they just keep moving forward with, releasing updates, not updates like the Arachne boss update, which will they give us side grade or downgrade, just upgrades and stuff, you know? Like, the game should be moving forward, not literally they take one step forward and 5 steps back. Because that's what it kind of feels like is happening, right? Because some of these changes are just kind of really weird, like this tiger change and the boss change, you know, like, I don't know. If you guys have differing opinions or just opinions on this, definitely let me know. You should probably, head over to the forum post and share your opinion. Maybe it'll be seen, as you see, people definitely be complaining because they've already done 2 edits and stuff. So, at the end of the day, who really knows what they're gonna do? But I think they need some better testing and thinking about the future of the game in general, because they keep releasing these updates. As I said earlier, they're adding these new items to the game that don't really mesh well, and they're sitting there, nerfing people's damage at the same time while adding items that increase people's damage, which just makes the two, things just like makes the new gear redundant because you can't exceed damage amounts. Because I assume going forward, this boss change will apply to everything in the game. So, yeah. So I think it would running too long. So definitely, share me your opinion. I'm, curious how you guys feel on this stuff. And yeah, either way, if you guys listened this long, thank you very much. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.